Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is Paige Hancock, Marketing Manager at Spok, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Before we get started, I would like to go over some housekeeping items. Everyone will be muted during today's webinar, but we still want your participation. Please submit your questions via the questions box in the GoToWebinar toolbar, and then our presenter, Nat'e, will answer as many questions as time allows after the presentation. A recording of this webinar and the presentation slides will be sent to all registrants tomorrow. Please feel free to share these with others at your organization. And the slides are also in the handout section of the GoToWebinar toolbar if you'd like to follow along with the PDF. You'll have the opportunity to complete an evaluation at the end of the webinar. We would love it if you could take a couple of minutes to complete this survey. We truly take your feedback into account, and your thoughts help our efforts to provide relevant and informative presentations. Today, we'll be talking about innovation, new technology, and the magnet journey. Dr. Nat'e Guyton, Chief Nursing Officer at Spok, will share her insights on how technology can help your organization improve nursing workflows and patient care, as well as achieve this significant recognition. Nat'e is a nurse and clinical leader with over 15 years of healthcare and technology experience, and that includes clinical workflow redesigns, EHR, and health IT implementations, and pursuing interoperable, patient-centric, and user-friendly technology for quality outcomes. She's an advocate for patients, nurses, and healthcare organizations, and we're very happy to have her with us today to share her experiences and insights. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Nat'e, who will begin our presentation.
Thank you so much, Paige. I appreciate you. And so this is going to be a very interactive webinar, so we want your feedback. So in terms of the agenda, it's a couple of things that we're going to be talking about. Number one, the overview of ANCC Magnet Recognition Program. 2, achieving magnet recognition with technology. And 3, we're going to talk a little bit about our magnet hospital case study with Children's Colorado. But before we do that, let's take a live poll, because we want to hear from you. So in terms of the live poll, we want to know, where is your organization on the magnet journey? 1, are you currently magnet recognized? 2, currently working towards the magnet recognition? 3, not pursuing at this time? And 4, not sure. Again, we want to just kind of get a basis on where you are and how we'll be able to help you. Awesome. Thank you, and thank you for your quick response. So I see that 44% is working towards the magnet recognition, 33 currently magnet recognized, 22 not sure. We don't have anyone not pursuing, but not sure. So hopefully we can give you a little bit more background on that magnet component. Thank you so much, Paige. So what is magnet? Right? So the Magnet Recognition Program was developed in 1993 by ANCC, the American Nurses Credentialing Center. There are 443 hospitals currently that are magnet recognized, and this seems to change every day. So every time I look at the site, the number goes up, which is great. It shows a lot of interest in the Magnet Recognition Program. And there are also 123 hospitals within the pipeline. So magnet organizations are usually recognized for their highest level of safety and patient satisfaction, quality patient care, and overall superior nursing processes. So the ANCC Magnet Recognition Program mantra is uniquely aligned with our mantra at Spok, which is, it's about seconds and minutes. And this speaks to safety, quality, and patient satisfaction. So research says hospitals who achieve magnet status have higher nurse satisfaction and lower burnout rates. And we're always looking for ways to retain our nurses and make sure they're not burnt out. Magnet hospitals have better patient care and better patient satisfaction. And magnet hospitals also have enhanced communication among caregivers. And I like to call this communication amongst caregivers, interprofessional communications, and we'll talk about that some more throughout the presentation. So the Magnet model consists of 5 components, which is their conceptual framework, if you will, for this model. 1, transformational leadership. 2, structural empowerment. 3, exemplary professional practice. 4, new knowledge, innovation, and improvement. And that's where we'll be focusing our conversation today. And 5, empirical outcomes. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the forces of magnetism. So the forces of magnetism are 14 forces or standards that the hospitals must meet to achieve and or maintain that magnet status. And 1 is quality of leadership, organizational structure, management style, personnel policies and programs as it relates to nursing, professional models of care, quality of care and services, and quality improvement. And again, it's highlighted in blue because we're going to be talking a lot about quality of care and quality improvement. Number 8, consultation and resources. Autonomy is number 9, and this is nurses' autonomy. How do nurses own their own practices? How are nurses involved in making decisions at the hospital level? The community and the institution, it's how does hospital or how does your nursing practice align or involve the community, the patients, their caregivers? Staff as teachers, and again, this is nursing staff as teachers, the image of nursing and the staff, interdisciplinary relationships, and professional development. And that professional development component are your nursing certifications. So before we go any deeper, we're going to do another poll. And in this poll, we have a few questions because we want to know, what are your pain points, right? What pain points are you looking to solve with new technology? And it's new technology as it relates to Magnet or as it just relates to nursing in your organization. Are you looking to reduce hallway noise? Are you looking to ensure there's easier clinician-to-clinician communication? And that's what I call that interprofessional communication. So nurse to doctor, doctor to lab, nurse to pharmacy, so that interprofessional communication. Should it be easier versus several phone calls, right? Nursing staff retention or improving patient satisfaction. Okay, looks like we have a tie here. So again, thank you for your quick response. So it looks like easier clinician-to-clinician communication and improving patient satisfaction are our top 2, right? I'll say they both are 88%. Nursing staff retention, and then reducing hallway noise. So I appreciate that because we are going to talk about that nurse-to-nurse and nurse-physician communication and how to ensure and enhance patient satisfaction. So you might wonder, how does Spok and Magnet, how does that go together? How is that magnet recognition aligned with Spok? So the ANCC Magnet Recognition requires innovation in nursing that improves patient care and outcomes. So how can our Spok clinical alerting system help? So the Spok clinical alerting system centralizes the management of critical alerts and alarms via the nurse call or patient monitoring systems. This technology is an innovative product. It is proven to improve response time, improve patient care, promote staff efficiency, reduce noise, and promote healing. And I think there are some of the things that we captured in that earlier poll. So many Magnet-designated hospitals or hospitals on the journey are looking for innovative solutions to patient and staff issues. So our Spok clinical alerting system can help improve patient care and help you meet the ANCC Magnet designation requirements. So the next few slides, we're going to get really granular here because I really want to talk about not only the general component or the broad component of the ANCC and the designation. I really want to talk about, from your day-to-day perspective, how can we help? So we did a lot of research, right? We try to figure out what's going on in the hospital, what do nurses need, what are their current day-to-day issues. So a couple of things we found. There are 350 alarm conditions per day per bed. And so you may say, I mean, I work in critical care. It's way more than that. But we just thought 350 was a lot and wanted to really put that out there. But 85 to 99% are non-actionable. We also found that the average nurse walks a considerable distance during the course of their shift, over 5 miles, right? You see some of the nurses with the Fitbit on or the pedometers, but we hear that nurses walk an average of 5 miles in a shift, which is huge, right? So how can we save our nurses from burnout? So with the right technology in place, this can be reduced. By enabling your nurse call system to communicate with the nurse's mobile devices, you can deliver calls directly to the nurse without even requiring a stop to the nurse's station. And how many times, we talk about 5 miles a shift, let's count how many times we go back and forth to the nurse's station to get message, to answer calls, to kind of communicate with one another. So in some cases, a callback extension for the patient can be delivered along with the message, allowing the nurse to speak directly with the patient and determine the nature of the patient's needs. So again, remember I said we're going to get really granular. So I want to talk about a day in the life with the nurse call system. So what happens today? This is the current state. So the nurse hits the nurse call light. The call is received at the nurse's station. There's a little bit back and forth of tracking down the right nurse, right? And now, while all this is going on, the patient is waiting for the response. So in the future state with Spok and our technology, what could happen? So in this scenario here, patient hits the nurse call and said, it's time for my pain meds. This information is received on the nurse's mobile device. The nurse checks the EMR and realizes that it's not time for the pain meds, not yet. So the nurse messages the doctor for breakthrough pain medicine via this mobile device. Then the doctor orders the breakthrough pain medicine and the patient is now pain-free. Let's talk about tests. So there are many tests and many results. So again, we went out and we did some research and we found that there are 400 million radiology exams in the United States each year. And again, this may change. 6.8 billion lab tests in the United States each year. So it's no wonder that test results become such a problem in regards to clinical communication. I mean, these numbers are huge, but it's a reality. So let's talk about, again, let's get a little bit granular on our current state. So what happens today? The physician orders the x-ray. The results are critical, right? They come back, they're called. They're called to the floor. There's a little bit of phone tag that goes on. Nurses in the patient's room, but they must receive and acknowledge that critical alert. So then the patient is now waiting for treatment. So in our future state, with our technology, the Spok Mobile, the physician orders the x-ray. The results come back, they're critical. They can go directly to the device. They can go directly to the physician and directly to the nurse, and then the treatment can begin. Now, I know with JAGO, there is that policy that says critical orders must be documented and acknowledged. So there is a process here through this device where you can acknowledge you received the critical alert, and it is documented. So then you can pull a report for JAGO when they come and say, give me a list of your critical alerts and show me how they were acknowledged. You can pull out that menu and that report from our technology. Let's talk about our case study, because you recall we did a case study with Children's Hospital in Colorado. And Children's Hospital in Colorado, they wanted to support patient and family care, so they decided to pursue a silent hospital approach. And again, those of you who are in that patient experience journey, you understand we're looking to that healing, quiet environment. And this has become initiatives within our organization. So their goal was to make sure everyone could communicate effectively without impacting the patient experience. So everyone had to communicate, but they didn't want to hear the alarms and they didn't want to hear the buzzing, because what we find at many hospitals, nurses, doctors, they carry many devices. So Children's Hospital in Colorado, they partnered with us, and we embarked with them on a hospital-wide solution, including clinical alerting, to reduce overhead paging and the number of devices staff needed to carry. Remember, if you take an assessment of the devices, I mean, doctors today carry pagers, phones, nurses have the badges, phones, so we wanted to reduce all of that. And as a result of this partnership with Children's Hospital in Colorado, which, as you see, they are a Magnet designated hospital, a few things came out of that. One, they significantly reduced noise, thereby reducing patient satisfaction. So let me repeat that. One, they significantly reduced noise, thereby improving patient satisfaction. And two, they improved mobile communication, or what I call interprofessional communication among caregivers. So some of our key takeaways: number one, innovative technology is key to achieving Magnet and providing high quality patient care. So we know we have to do things different, we have to do things smarter, and we have to do things quicker in the hospital. So at Spok, we understand your nursing needs, and we want to partner with you while either you're on the Magnet journey or you're maintaining the Magnet journey, or like you said earlier, I'm not sure where we are, but we may need help. So we want to partner with you, and we want to partner with you to ensure three things. We want to enhance communication among your caregivers. We want to promote nursing satisfaction and lower that nursing burnout. And we want to help you provide and sustain quality patient care. So I thank you. I thank you so much for taking the time to join me. I thank you for sharing your Magnet journey and sharing a little bit about where you are and listening to how we can support you in this process. So Paige, I'll hand it over to you, and I'll take any questions at this time.
Excellent. Thank you, Nat'e, so much for that insightful presentation. We will take some time now to answer your questions. It looks like we have had a few that were submitted already. If you have a question, please do submit it in the questions box that is in your GoToWebinar toolbar, and we will answer as many as time allows. So Nat'e, our first question is, what is the most important thing that nursing leaders should do to ensure success when they're rolling out a new solution?
The most important thing, I believe, is to have the right people on your team, right? So to involve nurses, maybe have a nursing technology council and involve nurses, and also develop a roadmap. Many times, especially when we're talking about mobile devices, our first inclination is to just select a device and go from there. And we have an assumption that, okay, nurses know how to use phones, and nurses know, they use them in their everyday life. But introducing a mobile technology into a clinical workflow is very different than using your iPhone or for Facebook at home. So I think the most important two things, if you will, is have the right people, build the right team, and make sure you have a strategy, a roadmap, and understanding the clinical workflow. Number one, what device you will select, and how does that integrate in your nursing clinical everyday workflow?
Thank you. And another attendee has asked, what does Spok solution do if the alert goes to a nurse and that nurse is too busy and can't respond?
Yes, that is a great, great question, because what I love about our product is we have an escalation process. So usually, and oftentimes, your nurses are in the rooms, they're giving patient care, their hands are in something, and so we have an escalation process that you, as the hospital, you can decide where does that escalation go and at what time. Now, let me give you an example. One of our hospitals that we work with, they've decided that certain, like if it's water, a patient is asking for, I need some water to take my meds, then that escalation can go to a nursing assistant within 3 seconds. We also have a process where you do not have to acknowledge it. You can, again, a nurse is busy, involved in something. Let's say you get an alert to your phone and you don't acknowledge it, it will automatically escalate to the next care provider that you assigned. So that is a great question.
All right, and another attendee has asked, what advice would you give to a new CNO?
Again, I would go back to, because I was a new CNO at one of our hospitals, and we rolled out, number one, this was back in the day where we didn't even have an EMR, and we rolled out CPOE and gave devices to nurses. So I think, number one, making sure you're at the table with your clinical leaders, with your hospital leaders, with IT. How I really got into this role is when we were, as I was a CNO and we were rolling out CPOE and our EMR, I wanted my nurses to have a voice. So I partnered with our hospital and health system CIO, and every step of the way, I was there in the planning process. And so I would say, build the right partnerships, make sure you're at the table, make sure you have a voice, and be a part of the rollout process.
Excellent, thank you. Another question, how can we best involve the nursing staff in technology decisions when we're using the magnet structure?
Yes, Paige, that is a great question as well. Again, I had the opportunity to do this, and in our magnet structure, I created what I called a Nursing Technology Council. So when you talk about autonomy, which is one of the forces of magnetism, it is about nursing owning their own practice. And Magnet, there is a nursing counselor infrastructure that says your nurses must be a part of their professional practice. And in that counselor structure, I had a nursing IT council. And I solicited help from our nurses who were very interested in technology. And we met weekly. We talked about new technology and new trends, and they were the experts, and they also became our super users. So I would say use that structure, create a nursing IT council, and keep it going. You know, and I say that because most of the time, you know, when we're in an implementation period, we form the committee, they're super users, and then when we think everyone's great or optimized, they go back. And so I would say keep that nursing technology counselor infrastructure going, because they're the ones that's going to go out there on the bedside and really talk to nurses on the floor about the new technology and enculturate that into your environment.
All right, it looks like that is the end of our questions today, so we will conclude there. If you would like to chat with a Spok representative on the topics that we discussed today, you can do so using the link that's in your chat box. And you can also continue the conversation with fellow attendees by using the hashtag SpokWebinar on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook to get all of the latest news from Spok, as well as industry news and trends. Thank you all for joining us. We hope that you found this webinar informative, and have a great rest of your day.